I'm pretty sure all of you guys have an experience like this. I am going to assume that you're going to relate to this because it seems like it's something that's a part of growing up human. And that is, do you guys ever remember a time when you felt like you had no course in life? For me, it happened for the longest time, especially during my high school years. The question of what are you going to do when you get out of here, when you graduate, what college are you going to go to, what are you going to do after you get out of college? That question, I always answered it for the sake of answering it. I said a few times, I'm gonna go to college and study biology or something earth science related. But deep down in my heart, I knew that I wasn't going to go to college, especially not immediately after high school. I'm not saying I'm never going, but it's just that when I asked myself, what can I do for the rest of my life, get paid for it, and say that I'm liking what I'm doing or I feel passionate about it, there wasn't a thing. I know that I say I like the earth sciences, such as meteorology and geology, but I know I've said this before, but I'm gonna repeat it. It doesn't mean that because I like to know about it, I want to actually do something with it. I just do not see myself going to school to study sciences like that, get into the mathematical aspect, because for me, it's really stressful. I like to at least understand the concepts, but I don't care to actually be hired into that field and do that for God knows how long. In addition, there was another career that I said that I wanted, and that was being a teacher. And what turned me off about that is that you guys know the state of education nowadays. The way I perceive education is so different from what it is traditionally that I feel that as a teacher, I would be depressed because I wouldn't accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. I want to cultivate children's creativity and empower them, let them be. Our system doesn't allow that. Our system is designed to turn you into someone who's going to take orders from someone. And for me, I want to give the power to kids to be independent and come up with something of their own and build it. Another thing that I said that I would consider doing was being a flight attendant, and really I said it out of the joy and passion of flying and traveling. But when I actually looked at what it means to be a flight attendant and the stuff that you have to go through, it's like, it's a whole nother degree of customer service that I can handle, but the fact that I have to give for free a lot of my time to airlines, I'm not feeling that. You don't get paid until the doors are closed. That is an industry that for me is not worth it. You don't get enough sleep. You don't know which city you're going to sleep in. You don't know when you're ever going back home. You're never at a home. You're like pretty much living in hotels. And that's not my thing. I could only see myself doing that maybe for a month. But even for a month, it would seem overwhelming. And not only that, but the kind of training that you have to undergo, it's like you're a rescue worker type of deal, which sounds fun. I mean, my father does that, but I don't know, it's not the thing for me. I don't care to be worried about that. Like, how can I work on my fitness if I never sleep, or if I'm always stuck in a plane or in an airport? It's just mentally, it's not the right job for me. When it came to wanting to be a judge, I said, man, I cannot judge anybody because I would be so worried that I'm making the wrong call, I'm making the wrong choice, I'm condemning someone. What if I'm wrong? I like to worry like that because I know the effect that my decision will have on an individual's life, and not only that individual's life, but it's an entire family that is going to, suffer. And I have to really make sure that justice is delivered the way that it's supposed to. I just don't want to have that pressure on my shoulders because not everybody is going to feel they agree with me. I don't want to live in fear. Additionally, I'm guessing the education I would need is very centralized on studying past cases. Those are called precedents. Man, whatever. How is something that happened decades ago still going to be relevant? In some cases it is, but in some cases the times change and stuff evolves, those rulings are going to have to evolve as well. I don't know, it's a whole nother zone of social studies that I don't particularly enjoy. I don't even know what made me say back in high school that I wanted to do that. Probably because I was in the middle of the hype of learning civics. I found it very enjoyable. I've always hated social studies, but civics was a particularly good course for me. But that helped convince me that that's not the right path for me. When it comes to acting, this is something I said I wanted to do in my 8th grade year, and I was pretty serious about it to where I took a theater class in my sophomore year. But I'm like, man, this is one of those careers that you really have to be on the right place at the right time, know the right people, because otherwise you may be unemployed for a long time. I can't be living with that type of uncertainty, you know? Additionally, I'm not really sure that I can be into acting like that anyways, because I have tried drama classes, but I felt like I wasn't good at it. Like, I don't have a personality on stage like that. And then it doesn't help that I'm shy, but as far as I know, there have been very successful actors who are shy as well. Then even if you were to make it big as an actor, it's a world that's like too unlike what I am used to, enjoy, and am comfortable with. I don't feel like that would support the kind of lifestyle that I like to have, which is completely relaxed. You would have such a crazy schedule, you have to travel to cities that you may not even care for. That's just me. I like to consider everything from every angle. Another thing that I said that I wanted to do that I'm not sure that I've ever mentioned in the channel was being a policewoman. And really, I found that appealing as a kid because you're a kid and you're watching a lot of movies, so you think that doing that stuff is fun. Of course, I respected the very violent scenes. I told myself I hope I never go through that. But yeah, being in the police force is like kind of like the judge situation too. You're going to become recognizable, and maybe you did something to someone even though you're right and they're wrong, so they should just accept that they were wrong and roll with it. But people tend to remember stuff, and that's what I'm worried about. Also, I'm not very good at enforcing anything. Like, especially if I have to use force on something or someone, I'm not that kind of person. I will be run over as a policewoman. I understand that I have that weakness, and there's no academy that can make me overcome that. I just know myself. I know that I'm going to hate it, and I don't want to be depressed and miserable just to make $1. I'm not saying I never would. I can speak only based on today. This is how I feel today. My circumstances also allow me to have a different life. Is not the best life that I could be having. I enjoy that I have a little bit of control, and the pace that I have is just right for me. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to ramble about those things because there's this building pressure your whole life about, am I doing the right thing? Am I spending time on the right thing? Time is passing by. I don't have a goal really. Or you may have goals, but you may not know how to fulfill them. Or you're just like, dang, I cannot find anything that I am happy to do. And especially when you work with someone, that's particularly hard because you have to do things their way, abide by their rules and their schedule. They don't analyze you as an individual and consider your feelings. That's where I want to be. I want to be somewhere where I have control of my time and do what I like to do and get paid for it. I think that's everybody. Just so you know why I haven't opted to do those other things. I believe it's possible to make it to where you want to be, but it just takes time. And as long as you're working on it, you should be able to make it. Anyways, you guys, that concludes my rambling. Did you ever feel this way? Are you going through it? If not, but you did have the thoughts initially, how did you discover what it was that you wanted to do? How did you get to where you wanted to be? Or how do you find joy in what you're doing? Just anything that you feel like telling me. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.